Okay, welcome to episode 5. This is Jock. Last time around was Sorcerer, and this episode, what did they try to do? They tried to, Frankenstein the thing? I don't even fully remember. I don't fully remember what happened in this episode, more Stranger Things Season 5. Let's get to it. These are degrading as I go on. Such long fucking credits, jeez. Anyway. Okay. Shield. Don't. That was a big ass D I just wrote there. Don't think too hard about that. Okay. Alright. Episode 5. Okay. I don't know, man. This is yet another episode of Stranger Things where too many things are happening and none of them really seem to connect to each other. I'm gonna be honest, all the stuff with Dr. K, I really don't care about. I care like 5% about just because it's Linda Hamilton, but that's really it. It's like, if it wasn't Linda Hamilton, I would care nothing for it. It's just like, it's like, oh, Dr. K, she wants to make more people that, have powers. But the only way to do that is with 11, because 11, for some reason, is like Henry. I don't know why. Also, 8, I don't remember her name, but 8 is like, I knew everything about Henry except that he was still alive. And it's like, well, thanks for telling me. It's like, oh, I knew everything about how he was the orderly and, his origins and, where he came from and how you fucking killed him and everything. But I didn't think that was, pertinent information in season 2, probably because the writers hadn't thought of it yet. And it's like, oh, okay, cool. Yeah, I don't care about the Dr. K stuff. The problem is the military stuff feels like it's 4 seasons behind, It's like, oh, Dr. K, she wants to get 11 so that she can, recreate the program to make more superpowered people. And, she believes that 11 is the reason that people are dying, and so she has to capture her and stuff like that. And it's like, they don't even know who Vecna is. They don't even know about Henry, apparently, and so... Yeah, no. So that's why it's just like I don't really care about that stuff. And it's a shame that like 11's story is kind of being pigeonholed into that, because it's like, well, her story needs to be about Henry, Because that's the thing, is that's how... Like, season 4 worked out a little bit better, I think, because, like, even though it did seem... I mean, I guess this could be the same thing here. It's like, even though it seemed like, wow, this whole thing, 11's going through this whole thing where she's going back through her memories of Henry, one, the orderly, and at the same time, all this Vecna stuff is going on. But it's pretty obvious that this dude was Vecna, It was pretty obvious that this dude is Vecna, and that's the connecting thread between those things, Yeah, because I mean, season 4 also had the whole Russia stuff, which connected to nothing except, Joyce and Murray go to Russia to save Hop because they just didn't feel like actually killing him at the end of season 3. I don't know, David Harbour still wants a paycheck, so... I don't know. Whereas this season, it's like there's too many like different things. Even though they should all be working towards the same thing of defeating Vecna, it just doesn't seem like that, It doesn't seem like that's where we're going with a lot of these, I mean, it's like, okay, so we have... I mean, first off, we still have a group in the overworld, We still have a group in the overworld where, so they're trying to attack Vecna using will, which, again, that trick is not going to work twice, Then they also have there's also the Holly and Max plot line in the memory world of the Upside Down. They're trying to escape from that. But there's also 11 in the Upside Down dealing with the military and Dr. K, and Dr. K wants to capture 11 in order to do this. And then also there's Dustin and Steve and Nancy and Jonathan. They're trying to find the shield generator, which is trying to look for Holly, and it's also in the Upside Down, but it's also its own separate thing. Because even if they can get through the wall and that's where Holly is, I mean, well, I guess if Holly wakes up, she's going to be in the Upside Down. But these four things, they don't feel like they're going towards the same goal, which is defeating the bad guy, Whereas last season, with the exception of Russia, like everything did kind of feel like that. It's like, I guess last season there were 3 plot lines. No, it was 4, wasn't it? Because they had Mike and Will and Jonathan and Argyle. Yeah, that went nowhere, did it? Like, they saved Elle, but that was, like, it. They saved Elle, but, like, it was one of the most useless plot lines, wasn't it? Yeah, I guess season 4 is not much better. Maybe it's because those... Okay, well, maybe... Here's maybe my excuse. It feels like, at the very least, the story with, Nancy's group and saving Eddie and saving Max and fighting Vecna, that all felt like the main focused on story. The second main focused on story was 11 going through her memories, which, after a little bit of it, you were like, okay, something's going on with this orderly. He must be Vecna. He must be Vecna. You start realizing what's going on there. And then you do have Russia and the Stoner field trip. That those two really don't go anywhere, like, at all. Like, I'll give the Stoner field trip a little bit of credit because it merges into a much better plot line once they save Elle, but that's really it. Russia, that had no purpose other than just bring Hopper back. It's like it was good enough because it's like, well, I like Hopper, I like Joyce, I like Murray, but that's it. Like, I kind of wish the show was about them and Eddie and Steve and Robin. Yeah, that's it. Everyone else I don't really care about. Like, honestly, at this point, I'm also kind of sitting here like, man, I wish 11 would, like, have things to do. Because, like, she's so wrapped up in this whole plot of... I mean, 11, honestly, she's practically supposed to be the main character, and yet every season seems to sideline her so much, Like, season 1 was probably the best for it because she was such a focal point of the season, The military's trying to find 11, and, her dynamic with the kids really worked, with the boys, and that worked. Back when they were, small, back in season 1, 1,000 years ago. But after that, every season kind of sidelines her. Like, season 2, she went off on her own thing and found 8, which was not interesting. Nobody cared about that episode. I didn't mind it, but I didn't care either. And then, yeah, for, like, almost all of season 2, she was away from the group and everything. She was, like, with Hopper. But that was pretty much it. And then, like, season 3... I guess season 3 was probably the most focused... because there was everything with Starcourt and the Russians and Billy and the Mind Flayer flesh thing. I mean, that's the thing, though. It's like you have to think about, like, how this show has changed in terms of its villains, because we had the Demogorgon, then the Mind Flayer, and you had the Mind Flayer basically for 2 seasons. And it's just like, oh, by the way, the Mind Flayer is not actually the big bad because it's just, it's a big cloud thing. It's actually Vecna. But by that point, like, they kept splintering all the characters because they have too many characters and they can't just let them go. So I'm kind of sitting here, like, in each of these episodes, I'm just kind of sitting here like, okay, something important is going to happen. And it's just like, did anything like important happen? And I hate saying that because it's like, I don't need every episode to be important really in a TV series, but granted, this is the final season, I need things to be happening. I mean, I watched a video that talked about, it's like at the end of season 4, they shake up the status quo. Vecna attacks, at the end. He's, split the earth open and everything. And then it's like season 5, nope, they just put some metal over the cracks and, lock down Hawkins and everything's relatively the same otherwise. And it's just like, that's fucking stupid, man. Like, season 5 probably should have just picked up right where season 4 left off, But yeah, okay, so like let me look at my notes. So Vecna wants to use the 12 children to find this other world. There's another world. And there's another world that he's trying to get. I guess he's going to reshape our world through this one or something. I don't know. So they didn't really explain everything there. Dr. K is stupid and just wants to make more superpowered people and is not involved in the rest of the plot as a whole. I mean, there's the whole, like, blowout between Dustin and Steve, but, like, I don't care that much. And I like Dustin and Steve, but I'm just, like, I don't know, man. And then Will and Vecna and Max. I mean, that's kind of something. I feel like Will honestly is one of the most important characters right now. And that's really saying something. And hey, at least they're doing something with this whole, it's like, oh, Will, he might actually be gay. And it's like, okay, but that also means he's not confident about himself. He's not sure of who he is right now. And that's factoring into, him becoming more sure of himself, him starting to become more comfortable about himself, thus becoming more comfortable with the powers that he can siphon off of Vecna and use them to his advantage. Like, oh, that's interesting. Okay, sure. That's something. It's not amazing, but it's something. And again, you're not going to pull off that trick twice, so that's at least something. As Max and Holly, who met up again, started to leave, were attacked, and then we don't even know if they got out. Even if Holly gets out, she's just going to be in the spire. So she's not going to be able to escape from there, And then there's the shield generator. Or not shield generator. Whatever the thing is. That apparently if you destroy it, everyone dies. So, I don't know. It's like it's an amazing thing that, however long, an hour and 2 minutes. And it's like, well, things happened, but, like, nothing that worthwhile. Like, honestly, like, if it, like, this almost feels like a skippable episode. Like, if you watch the last episode and then you watch this one, it's like, Max and Holly are making it out. And I don't know. I guess the only thing you're missing is whatever the not shield generator is, Everything else, like, I don't see the relevance, And I hate to be like this because I feel like every episode, when it ends, I'm just coming out here and I'm just like, I don't know what we're doing. Like, I don't know why we're doing any of this stuff. And I want it to be more focused. And I'm just, I don't know. I feel like this whole video is me just complaining. And I know because, this is well after the season has already finished. Has finished airing, and I know so many people have a problem with this season, and I see it. So maybe you guys aren't as annoyed as I am afraid you are, but I don't know. It's just like, what are we doing? Like, what's the plot? What are we doing? Why things need to be happening? Like, this kind of feels like you're really just stretching. I don't know. It almost feels like you could have just done a movie and wrap this up. Like, there's not enough material here, which is weird because you'd think there would be in a full-out war with Vecna. You'd think there would be enough here to fill 8 episodes, but a lot of this just feels like filler. And again, like, the whole thing of, like, Dr. K is trying to get 11 so that she can make new superpowered people. It's like, we don't care. That's the least of our problems, you know? That is like literally the least of our problems, and it's crazy, you know? And again, like the only interesting thing about that is that it's Linda Hamilton, you know? Everyone loves Linda Hamilton, you know? We all remember Terminator. And we just are sort of sitting here like, well, that would be interesting if it mattered. If it mattered to this whole Vecna thing. I don't know. That's episode 5. We got 3 more. We got 3 more. I hope you're enjoying the video. Hope you're enjoying this really long video where I just bitch about Stranger Things for like 5 hours. But maybe this is cathartic because you too have bitched about Stranger Things, and now you can. It's either that or you finally got over you finally vented about Stranger Things a lot, and now this video comes out and you're just like, it's just popping back up again. You're just ready to vent again. I don't know. Leave it in the comments, and yeah, I guess that's that. Let's move on to the next one.